Peace be upon you. Kaji. Kaji. The fates. There is divine intervention to heal, restore, bless, birth, open pathways, minds, hearts, opportunities, possibilities to mend things that are supposed to be mended. As in, either they were left off due to terrible timing, someone's failure to overcome certain challenges to do the shadow work, or right, or having made choices and trying to lead them to fruition, hence unable to make different ones. So anyways, the timing, I strongly sense timing. Overcoming some challenges or conflicts, important conversations, clarification, etc. It may not start off promising, but as long as there's an intention there and two people try to communicate, they can achieve some balance, some harmony, find common ground, right? Especially if they come with their heart in their hands, which is what I feel. Okay, I didn't finish. Okay, never mind. A little money, 7 of Pentacles, 6, 7. 4 of Swords in reverse. Yep, someone's moving. Someone's getting out of their head. They don't have clarity. There's no clarity here. Don't misunderstand me. But they got to do something. Something's got to give. Something's got to change here. Someone is struggling. If you're wondering about how someone's current journey is going, well, not good. Not good. Everything seems to go back or lead them back to a specific episode in their chapter, a feeling, a person, a regret, a thing left unsaid, a choice not made. There's lack of resources. So there are things that prevent this person or have prevented this person from really taking seriously in consideration. They've been pushing through, basically, making ends meet, trying to adapt, adjust with all the changes, and self-sacrifice, I feel. This may be someone who provided for someone else. They couldn't afford the luxury of, even for a moment, taking into consideration pursuit of something that they truly care about, or still pains them, or they're seeking for some answers or clarity on, or their heart truly desires, or such as reconnecting with someone, or saying something that they didn't get to, or apologizing, or demanding apologies, specifically to a feminine that they left behind, either ghosted, failed to communicate, or they were dishonest. They're never conveyed about either what they do for a living, their actual challenges, financial, practical challenges. This was someone who was making do and taking whatever opportunities were available, legal or otherwise, etc. Struggling financially. Something was consuming. They're either a project of some sort, a promise that they've made, someone that they felt relied on them, depended on them being able to provide. Ghosting or abrupt ending of a communication, ability to align or find some resonance, some manner of understanding one another. What I sense strongly here, Four of Swords, also has to do with rhetoric and oratory abilities, skills, the mental, the communication, and so on. So it may be that there was an actuality, there was also something lost in some form of a translation, I get the phrase. Difference in language. Yeah, the two of you spoke different languages, both energetically and factually, right? Hence, yeah, there was some restrictions there you may not have realized, either out of embarrassment or not wanting to say the wrong things or taken over by emotion anyway. It was more powerful than whatever any of you could have said. So yeah, there was something lost in mistranslation. There may have been a shock ultimately once you did manage to get through to one another, trying to see where this would lead. So when things started getting serious, you realized how much you truly clash, and you may have misinterpreted what was being said there. They may have misinterpreted what you were saying, or you may have expressed in an abrupt manner, because I feel the feminine here was more, straightforward. Yeah. And the person was trying to convey, this is about practical matters here. I'm trying to see how I could make this happen. They were trying to be really reasonable and practical about the situation, which of course you didn't know of because they never spoke to you about. It's not something that they were proud about, either because of what they were doing or the feeling that they don't know how they're going to make this happen, since they don't have neither the time nor they have their loyalties elsewhere, vows, promises, people depending on them. I strongly feel that. For themselves, there was never enough. Never. They just stand up for something other than themselves. Fight for something other than themselves. That's where they get their energy. It's how they live. How they chose to live. What fuels them, what motivates them. And if that's someone, maybe someone who takes advantage, for example, they will always leave them just with barely enough to survive, so that they keep on producing, right? More. As for the feminine, the dark-haired woman, this is usually a Queen of Swords. She can be sharp. She can have something very expressive about her. Maybe soft, elegant, and gentle features-wise, but at the same time something that, no one can really look past or forget. Or sometimes it's the very well-defined eyebrows, or full lips, or intensity in her gaze, or just energy-wise, right? But physically translates as having very specific, unique, easily identifiable features. She's not a classical beauty. She's an exceptional beauty. Through and through. But she's very defensive, very closed off, distrustful. So it means that her heart got blasted open and she got terrified, stepped in shadow mode. Accusations, investigation, playing some games, putting the other person to the test, or just full on, what are you going to do, right? What is this? What are your intentions? Who are you? Yeah. She was very sharp, to the point, And this appeared, especially in that dynamics, as very insensitive, or it revealed a disconnect. Someone taking a stance in a very individual manner, there where there was supposed to be some form of a connection and seek for common ground, there seemed to be rather more seeking for trouble, seeking for some accusation, there was doubt already there. And someone may have been offended. Yes, this feminine has offended someone who decided ultimately no longer to even try to convey something. So they got the wrong idea about you, either having your standards way too high, being out of their league, demanding, or even worse, keeping your options open and not feeling the same way they did. So their challenge was something to do with finances and what fueled and motivate them passions-wise and purpose, generally speaking, what they were invested in, and what consumed all of their focus, their energy, and the feminine was in the way she communicates, how she expresses and conveys something that she truly feels, especially if she just becomes all of a sudden extremely cold, which she has, the Queen of Swords. It's kind of, she falls naturally under that category of the judge, the politician, the law enforcement, right? She can be extremely cold and detached. For her, no, but for someone who may actually connect or feels that they have connected at a deeper level, that appears actually as even humiliating, even, so what did I do, right? Why did you turn into this, cold person, as in this is not whom I connected with. It's quite, yeah. So, inadvertently, the feminine initially opened up. It was in a very short time span here. The person feels that you may want something or expect something more of them than what they can actually offer. So there's an overestimation or an over-evaluation initially, translated obviously through the feminine's behavior, and then she just went 180. And took an attitude, accusatory, and the person felt as if all of a sudden I'm a horrible person, right? But last time I was magnificent. So what happened, right? So they're not sure what happened, because they've been brainstorming, obviously trying to find out what happened. But they did safeguard, or because the moment you step into offensive, even if for you it's defensive attack, right? It's seeking for clarity, your intentions may be all there, and you're asking valid questions and so on. The other person, timing may have been again a problem. Decided to, okay, if you're gonna come at me like that, shut down. Perceived you as an enemy, stepped in defensive mode. And the way they defend themselves is to just keep it moving and focus, and so either ghosting or. But again, there was serious problems with communication, both due to language, both to some. The feminine is usually very, again, isolates tendency to be very selective, very critical, ever observant, extremely intelligent, astute, can intimidate people. And when she stepped in that mode, she showed that other aspect of her that she herself may not really realize, because she doesn't really interact that much. She may not have ever really been aware of how her actions or her attitude or energy may impact someone else's. Of course, each will react differently. For this person, they stepped in defensive. They said, I don't have time for this. So either there was drama, unnecessary arguments or accusations, and very toxic, very problematic. Why? Not because she wasn't right here. It's not about right or wrong. Timing. You didn't give the other person even the time of day. They just have to step in defensive mode immediately. Because you intuitively felt that they were hiding something. But you may have, or they were keeping or withholding something from you, right? Or were protective of something else. And so you went on this tirade of trying to find out. The more you try, the more they got defensive. So basically you embodied some behavior that they've dealt with before. They were also just as shocked and confused. They perceived that there was a break in that connection because they perceived you as a complete stranger, someone who he didn't even understand why he would owe you anything or why you would think that you have the right to enter their life and start judging or demanding, and you may have taken it way too seriously, way too fast. It was way too intense. You actually literally scared away someone. Wow. And yes, you're informed and you're knowledgeable and you have the experience, and right? But are you sure about how you went about it? Was it really balanced? What if the roles were flipped here? Anyway, this is making peace, basically. Truth energy, reverse at the bottom of the deck. But we do have Fortuna there. And yes, the cards say that you will be able to either apologize or find a way to clarify your position, your true intentions. But I strongly feel that the feminine owes someone an apology only if the person comes back around. If they do, they will be defensive. They obviously do care and they're just as confused because there seem to be two sides to this person. She's very closed off. She got terrified because she obviously cares deeply about the person as well. Fear. Fear is what separated the two people. Now there's a new fear. The fear of losing something that was meant for you. That's what you share now. You, the fear of being misunderstood or never getting that clarity, that information, that healing. That's what I hear for the feminine is you don't understand. You don't understand. The desperation in not knowing how to convey something, how to get through to this person. So they're shut down, right? Both practically, and there's no communication from their end. They raised the wall back and shut you out. They may have even been, at one point just straight telling you, just leave me the fuck alone. Because they were going for something as well at the time and they didn't have time for that. They were hoping you would give them the time to, open up, but you were stuck in your own process and they had to return to theirs. So it's still fear of losing something extremely beautiful. There was waiting involved here, a long time. You see? Someone's coming. So the feminine has been for a while, because Four of Swords, in one place, stuck in many ways. And I believe she does have a shift in perspective in regards to how she communicated or conveyed or her timing. And she's not yet able, she sees the defensiveness, she saw it instantly and it triggered something in her. She recognized it, but rather than being empathetic and knowing how to handle it, since she herself uses the same kind of has the same kind of a reaction, she failed to do that. She doesn't know how to love. No, she doesn't. She wants to. She's learning to soften up, to move past words and worldly matters, but it's very hard for her to be that vulnerable too. She will always try and utilize any piece of information she can. Look, I have the proof right here, right? And that's nice. It's good to be informed and ever observant, but there should be a use for this, like, I don't know, investigative, whatever, truth-seeking, so on, knowledge, pursuit of knowledge, but not with someone that you supposedly, love. There's no trust. There's just fear. You were both terrified. Again, timing is at stake. You just reacted differently, and the whole dynamics was set by the feminine. When she flipped on this masculine. She turned bitter, angry, dysfunctional. She didn't even give the person a chance here. She did all the speaking, all the investigating, probably going to check profiles, make sure, find information. Oh, wow. Because she cared. But that's how it translated. And they said, no, I don't need this. I don't need this. This is forceful. This is toxic. No, I'm not dealing with this. So stopped you in your tracks. Said no. I believe they may have even tried to redirect you, because this is fire, it's passion. Let's just, rejoice and take it as it comes, and we'll figure it out. But no, I want the information. Give me the information. I need to know now. As if this person was responsible for the entirety of your journey up until now. You put it on them, your distrust, your pain, your disappointment in people, in relationship, in yourself, in humanity, and so on. It all just kind of blasted him. How bitter, lonely, and distrustful and fearful you truly were. It was revealed. For the masculine, something else was revealed at his time. As in, he has a heart of his own, and that heart is trying to guide him. It cannot all just be about what others need. Because you gotta put the heart in it. It's not how much or what you do, it's why. What for? Just doing it because at this point it's just habit. It's the only way they know how to live. Masculine has a lot of energy. Strong fire must be balanced out by water somewhere. I feel it's sun sign water. Moon, some fire energy. The feminine is some double air, or at least even North Node, 7th house. Strong air, very strong. And she also has some fire in her chart, balanced out by fire somewhere. It's a double masculine, very powerful feminine. A leader's nature, a waymaker, some form of let's just say she's overly gifted, and that may have been, to her very demise in many senses. She's engulfed in experience, in knowledge, but it seems to consume her. She's not putting it to any use. Doesn't see any use or purpose in it. She doesn't know how to yield or use it. There was a loss of faith somewhere along the way. So even when something beautiful presents itself, she will be defensive. Observing it is very important. She didn't ever realize that she was up until this point. As in when she had to pay the consequences of her actions, and she realized only later on that she wasn't going anywhere without this person. She can't. It's what fills her heart. He has the red pants here, and she has the red dress here. Green, red, blue. Both of them have a hat, have a humility to them, a dignity. They have strong values in common, regardless of appearance or difference in religion or approach or even choices and actions, and they share the same values. A dream we dream together, right, as they say. Yep. They literally dreamt of one another. Wow. I didn't choose this guidance. I do hope it helps you. The fates bring two people together because they're supposed to. The feminine should be the first to apologize. The masculine has all the right to be defensive because this behavior is not love. Free fall. A challenge. Crossroads. Right in the center. Ah, yes. Tenderness. She lost hope somewhere in childhood. Something broke her. She doesn't know how to love because she never received it. She never witnessed it in a manner that is closest to what genuine love is all about. She wants to give it, but she may be, dysfunctional in doing so, unable to really connect with the other person's needs, or she's stuck in some sense of lack of worth. So she will either overdo it, be excessive, let's just say she never learned to go with the flow or with the rhythm of someone else. Very lonely feminine. It is a Queen of Cups, the loving feminine here. She has also powerful water somewhere in her chart. Probable moon. Yeah. When she feels intensely, except she cannot process it. She's obviously afraid to be vulnerable. She got hurt when she was most vulnerable. So as I said, the feminine needs to apologize. And whether you see any positive response from another person, ultimately you make a choice to either be vulnerable, give them that faith, that chance, that give yourself first and foremost, at every opportunity, the possibility to heal your own heart. If you find something worth loving, please do so. Open up. Take a leap of faith. There's no way for you to prevent being hurt. None, except that of being as present as possible and loving with no expectations or regret. Then no matter what happens, what comes out of it, at least your journey was one filled of love, made of these very small choices, these very small moments, all decisions you've made in something that then was a present moment. That's where eternity is. That's where we build what is permanent, what is eternal. In the fleeting moment, you cannot avoid getting hurt. If someone chooses to do so, they will. The same way sometimes you cannot avoid hurting others. But in this case, you realize that you hurt someone and you hurt yourself in the process. Whatever game you were playing there, it was raised to conscience. It was revealed to you. Look, this is what happens when you take on this approach, or you cannot rationalize away pain and feelings and love and affection and care. And I know it may be terrifying. I cannot get attached. What if I get hurt? Will I be able to bear it? Well, you bore all of this pain all this time. Of course you can bear it. So whenever you're in doubt, always consider that both the worst and the best could happen. And right there in the middle, as you make that decision to stay true to your heart, you realize that once you choose it, it doesn't matter. If you're fine with either outcome, then the choice is right. If you can explain it away, then there is a strategy in there, and that can literally blow up in your face. And it's kind of what happened here. What I feel is hastiness. Yep, you got swept away by the intensity of the emotions. You wanted to move very fast. You lost track of time, of even common sense at this point. You turned into the opposite of what you usually are. Usually, again, you would make an amazing politician, or an artist, a writer, the tact, right? Oratory skills and abilities, your mental capacities, intellectual level of knowledge. All of that, you just threw it out the window. You tried to take a shortcut. Let me see, right? You decided not to trust. You decided from the get-go not to trust. You self-sabotaged. This is the very definition of self-sabotage. Your person matched you in the sense of they didn't put up with it. Whatever game you're playing, they didn't play it. Did it trash your ego? Yes. Was it necessary? Yes. Because you're ready now. You see? 4 of Swords, energy here. And what do we have here? 10 of Cups, and this is 48, by the way, 12, 3. That's why we had 3 cards down. 10 is a 1 in the beginning, and 4. Changes out of conflict, 5. You know what I see here? We don't really have any 2s, and no dual energy per se. Choice is already made. Long before we try and rationalize it, explain it away, seek for proof to validate it, choice has already been made. People tend to choose on the spot. How they go about it, then to act on it, or that's a different matter altogether. But you may be better at making choices than you ever realized. You chose to sabotage something, to distrust someone, to give up on something beautiful. You felt you were unworthy of it. So you used your best abilities to make the worst choice. A choice is a choice, though. And ultimately, sooner or later, we all return to ourselves. The heart wants what the heart wants. It wasn't your ego your heart that got broken. It was your ego. Because your heart is right there, still filled with love every time you think of it. Any blessings? Okay, we have a reversal. It's a purple energy. The universe cherishes my existence. This is your affirmation. Well, it's Romanian, but the reminder is, from your soul's perspective, you are always safe. Nature is destined to, is meant, is intended, is created to sustain your well-being. Why would Father create us if He didn't also make sure that we get what we need to be sustained, to be here for whatever, for however long, for whichever purpose? Stop distrusting that what you receive is either not meant for you, or what you would need or want, you will never get it because you're not worthy of it, or that you absolutely need something, otherwise you're incomplete without it. No. Even in this case, you still manage to survive and find your center on your own. This is something you conquered on your own, but because someone, some other spirit was there in your heart all along. They weren't in your life. But can you honestly say that you walked all of this journey without the presence of this energy? Because ultimately it seems to all lead back to that one decision, that one moment, when you went complete ballistic Karen on a poor man that was like, huh? Why? What? No. There was no reasoning with you. Now you've met your shadow mode in action. You may have gotten away with it in other circumstances with other people because, right, who cares? But this was a genuine connection. More beautiful and more than you were able to process or even admit to yourself at that time. And you just didn't give it the time to go to the next stage. Anyway, pain divided you. Pain shall unite you again. The pain of being separated. Why, when you can be together, right? What's stopping you? Well, egos, our shadows do. And yeah, whatever's meant to be together shall be together. But you're trying to control that? Stop. Inconstancy. Here's the air we were speaking about. And the rooster is an energy of fire. Sometimes I see it's scorpionic as well. Elevation, raising, karmic energy, a defiance, a challenge, but all with the good intentions, all with the best intentions, with so much sacrifice and effort. Here I am, I'm building something, I'm elevated, for what purpose? What are you trying to prove? Also, it's an announcement of a new day, a new dawn, right? And it shows you how the wave turns and shifts, where the wind blows. Messages incoming. They come firstly energetically, and principalities of air, therefore you feel the energy. The wind has turned, and it turned in your favor. Go with it. Let it elevate you and raise you, not in a manner that you would have defined as ideal up until now. Let it liberate you energetically, spiritually, whereas you feel you can be yourself. And now that you've managed to see, face, and integrate the self that you no longer recognize as a part of who you are, your journey, or there are always two ways of doing something, right? Anything can cut both ways. Wisdom. Learn to listen and observe. Speak purposely and intently, and with your heart fully focused on what you're trying to convey. It's not the words, it's not the level of knowledge. You've got nothing to prove. That comes from ego. Or your language skills. It's energy. If you would have spoken from the heart, this would have never happened. Then again, just to propose that you would have any control by use of intentful words and energy and like emotional manipulation, right? In order to have someone feel or believe something, is not the right way to go. You do your part, the other person does theirs. It's a constant choice. It's what freedom is all about. You have needs and rights and a nature to you. All you should do is to always be true to yourself. And the moment you no longer feel connected in the heart with the person, you also have to be honest. But in this case, you did the opposite. You felt the connection and decided to just trash it. It's fine. Now you saw it, that you have that ability. Whatever took over you, and you were given the opportunity to process something. You worked on it. Now it's time to see how far you've come. Blessings.